Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Bourbon Basement. I'm Ryan,
And I'm Steve.
and we are a little late. We are already experiencing some difficulties, but just a heads up for anyone that's tuning in. We have gotten notifications from Spectrum, which is who our Wi-Fi provider is, our internet provider, that we are experiencing periodic outages in our area. So it could be fine, or it could be really horrible.
At least this time it's not our fault.
No, it's not our fault. There's nothing
It's
we
not
can do
our
about
fault
this.
this time. So that's a good thing. But it's a beautiful day outside.
Bourbon Neophyte, missed you, man. Welcome to the stream.
Yeah,
Happy
welcome
Friday.
back. Welcome back.
You may have tuned into a bad one. We
Yeah,
don't know yet.
this might be one full of technical difficulties, not of our own doing.
Not on our end.
But so like I said, it's a beautiful day. I don't know what the Wi-Fi issues are. I do know they're stringing a bunch of new cable and stuff in the area, so maybe that's what's going on.
You've got a phone. You can type and say hi
Oh,
if you want to reply to that person. I don't think I had to shout that one out.
producer says hi, Bourbon Neophyte. Was that your intro?
Yeah.
Just hey, beware of
Hey,
technical
beware.
difficulties.
Just a heads up.
Welcome, guys. Welcome Friday. Uh, like I say every Friday, go ahead and get a drink, right? Go ahead and pour you a drink. We're drinking Paul Sutton bourbon tonight.
You better enjoy this one. This is your last freebie.
I know I go back to work Monday.
He won't know what to do with himself.
Doctor released me after my knee surgery, so I go back to work Monday. So if you all think that these shows that we've had over the last 3 months or so haven't been prepared, then wait until
Wait
I
until
go
you
back to work because there's a lot less preparation time in those.
Peter, appreciate you tuning into the stream, sir. Happy Friday.
Hi, Peter. How you doing?
Producer, I can see the chat, just so you know.
Well, hey, she's doing her job back
I
there.
can
She's
see
making
the
us
chat.
aware of everything that's going on.
Anyway,
All right, so grab y'all's favorite bourbon. Grab you contract distilled bourbon if you want, because Paul Sutton is contract distilled. Grab you a Kentucky bourbon or whatever you want to drink tonight, because it doesn't matter. We're just here to be drinking buddies. We don't care what you drink.
you heard him, ladies and gents. Neophyte says, don't forget to smash the like button. Smash the
Please,
like button, spread the name of the Bourbon Basement around all your friends, and subscribe if you are new.
please, please, please. All right, guys. We had a great episode last week. It's a little longer than some of our others, but we did the March Madness bourbon blind tasting of the Final Four.
If you missed out on that one, I definitely recommend going back and watching it.
We were wrong, by the way.
We're wrong on a lot of stuff.
We have been wrong a lot lately. If you're a betting man, don't bet on our predictions. Bourbon does not like to play sports.
Lagavulin 11-year sweet peat in the glass.
Oh, wow.
I don't even know if I pronounced that correctly. I've never heard of that.
I bet it's Scotch.
Lagavulin.
I don't know.
If I pronounced that wrong or butchered it in any way, I do apologize, but I've never even seen it.
Is that neophyte?
Yeah.
He likes that kind of that stuff. He drinks a lot of bourbon too.
That sounds high dollar. That sounds a little bit too rich for my blood.
You think?
I don't know. It's a fancy name.
It's only 11-year-old, and some of those things get 40 plus years.
Oh, I got it right, and it is Scotch.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'll take
He
my
likes the Scotch. I know. I've watched his shows before too.
I'll take my
He
small
does a lot of Scotch stuff, but he does a lot of bourbon stuff too, and talks to a lot of bourbon people.
$60.
$60. Yeah, that ain't too bad.
All right, let's get into Paul Sutton.
All right, Paul Sutton. So Paul Sutton is a family-owned bourbon brand founded by Dr. Myra Bargener and her husband.
We're
All
really
right.
struggling with pronunciations this evening.
Oh, these are some bad names, and I'm not good with names anyway. But they didn't just revive a family tradition that started way back in 1791. They revived her grandfather's sweet mash recipe that he perfected in 1916. And that's what this is. And that was Grandpa R.M. Grandpa Sutton. That was his recipe. And I'm going to read you something verbatim out of the article that I found. And it says this: using family science and Alabama grown grains, this grain to glass Kentucky straight bourbon was relaunched even after the original recipe was lost in 1998. That's what this whole show is going to be on. That one paragraph right there, I'm going to kind of break that down because it had some stuff in there that I was like, do what? And it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me at first. But the more I got into it, the more that I understood what was going on here. So, a lot to tackle there. And we'll just talk about the family and the 7 generations first. Your family, 17 generations, starting in 1791, produced bourbon, right? They didn't market it, they didn't sell it, probably didn't even label it. It was just for their personal family consumption. But bourbon ran in her family, and she knew her grandpa used to make it. All right. So when she wanted to revive it, she's a doctor, by the way. I think she's an oncologist in New York, is what she was doing. And she decided one day that she was going to revive this bourbon because Grandpa Sutton, he passed away in 1998. All right. So
R.I.P. Sutton.
yeah, so I guess in 1998, since 1998, from 1998 to 2014, probably every day, she thought about why am I doing this doctor stuff and saving lives when I should be saving lives with the medicine that's been used for decades, bourbon, right? And so she wanted to produce some more bourbon. And but anyway, she this was found in 2014. That's why I say since 98 to 14, she thought about that every day since Grandpa Sutton passed.
She was really dragging her feet.
But anyway, I think you have to get a lot together.
16 years?
I think you got to get a lot together to actually get this going. You can't just like say, "Hey, I'm going to do this and start tomorrow." You think?
She
I
got
don't
the
know.
money for it.
I
Surely
like,
she did.
well, I don't know. Doctor in New York, she's probably financially stable. But anyway, so 1998 though, this was the problem. So she decided she wanted to start this bourbon, and she wanted it was 2014 or around that time, probably about. I'm gonna go give it 2 years. I'm gonna say 2012. She decided she wanted to start this bourbon. So she's going back and she's talking to her family and she's talking to everybody and she's like, "Hey, where's Grandpa Sutton's bourbon recipe? I want to make this." And it's lost, vanished, gone, gone forever. Maybe he never wrote it down. Maybe it was just in his head. Maybe he knew it from memory only. But anyway, so they searched and searched and searched, and the only thing they could find was some remnants down in his basement on the shelves in some old mason jars. They found some remnants of the bourbon that Grandpa Sutton used to make. All right. So with that, she did. She had a background in chemistry, a background in analysis. So she took that bourbon, the remnants in that bottle. She took the remnants in that bottle and she Jurassic Park. And you know what I mean by Jurassic Park.
Oh, I know.
All right. So she Jurassic Park that bourbon and identified the yeast strain that was used or that he used. She identified minerals in the water that was used. She identified the corn and the percentage, the rye and the percentage, and the malted barley in the percentage. And the reason she did that is because if you all did not catch me earlier when I said in 1916, Grandpa Sutton perfected his family's sweet mash recipe, right? So she didn't want just any sweet mash recipe. She wanted that one because what does perfected mean to you? What's perfected mean to you?
Well, it doesn't mean that it meant the same thing for her.
Well, perfected though means that it couldn't get any better than what he was making right
There's
there.
always room for improvement.
But they perfected it couldn't get any better than that particular recipe. So she Jurassic Park that recipe and got it. Now it is a sweet mash, so there's no backset or nothing like that. So starting from scratch wasn't a big deal because it's a fresh batch every time. And that's what she did to do this. I'm gonna skip ahead to the most confusing part for me personally. When I read this. So when I read this, I read Alabama grown grains, grain to glass, Kentucky straight bourbon. And you know on this show, we only do Kentucky straight bourbon or Kentucky bourbons. All right. So I was wondering how Alabama grains and grain to glass led an Alabama grains to be a Kentucky straight bourbon. So that's what I had to figure out the most. And it goes back to contract distilling. So Paul Sutton is contract distilled through Wilderness Trail. All right. So she got the recipe, she got the yeast, she got the grains. Now, all three of their grains, the corn, the rye, and the malted barley, they all come from D River Ranch in Alabama. All right. So she talks to the Wilderness Trail, said, "Can you make this?" They say, "Yes, we can make that." So she delivers the grain, she delivers the yeast, and she tells them how to make it the way she wants. Or someone in her corporation did. But she made the corporation in 2014. So they started distilling. Now, did they go to Wilderness Trail in the meantime? You know, most companies will source a lot of bourbon, put stuff on the shelf while they're creating their own bourbon. Did she do that? No.
Let's say we waited this long. What's the sense in doing that?
She didn't do it. So what she did was she created her bourbon, her grandfather's recipe with those Alabama grains, and I'm guessing that's why she just didn't go to Wilderness Trail, buy some barrels, and then stick a label on it and call it her own. She wanted it made like her grandpa made it, right? So they got those grains from Alabama and everything. They took them there. Wilderness Trail started producing them bourbons. They started barreling their bourbons, and then they stored their bourbons in their bottled and bond warehouse. Most of them go to the bond warehouse, all right? And the reason they do that is because to be a Kentucky straight bourbon or any Kentucky bourbon, it has to be distilled and it has to be aged in Kentucky for at least one season, correct? One season, which is basically a year. It has to have all four of the seasons. You got to get through a winter and a summer in Kentucky. So you basically a year.
No, no, we have four.
Well, do we have four seasons? I think it's just dead winter and dead summer. It goes from extreme
No,
cold to hot.
we have hybrids.
We have a week or two of spring and a week or two of fall, I guess.
Well, and then here recently we've had winter into spring in
Well,
the
yeah, so
afternoons
you can get multiple seasons in the
in
same year.
one day.
Yeah.
No, in one day. It'll start 20 degrees and end up 70 by the end of the
It
afternoon.
does. Kentucky weather, if y'all have ever lived around here, you all know what I'm talking about. And it's probably like that in other states too, but it seems really extreme in this state. So she waited. So they produced it 2014. They waited 7 years, 2021, before it ever got put on the shelf. So their first batch, it took 7 years to ever get put on the belt on the shelf. So I was kind of impressed with that, and I'm guessing she was probably doctoring in the meantime while for those 7 years until that. She may still be doctoring. I don't know, but I thought that was kind of cool. So that's how Kentucky bourbon can be from Alabama. All right, and
So
then
your grains and stuff don't have to be from Kentucky.
no, you don't have to have grains from Kentucky. And a lot of grains, a lot of corn. Kentucky's a good place because Kentucky can grow some corn. They can grow some magnificent corn and just about any type of corn you want. And it's a real big, good state for corn. Rye, not so much. So most of the rye that's used in Kentucky bourbons around here doesn't come from Kentucky because Kentucky just isn't got a great environment for rye. So they don't use the Kentucky rye too much, and it's not grown too much. But the corn, definitely, and that's why Kentucky is so popular for bourbon, not only the limestone water, but because of the corn grains that they use. You seem awful quiet over there. Are you in it tonight? Are you in it to win it?
I'm just hanging out.
I know I'm talking fast and I'm doing a lot of talking, but I'm just trying to get through this because I do have 4 pages of notes.
I think the notes are getting long.
I had to go to notes because my dry erase board that I used to
It
put
wasn't big enough.
wasn't big enough. And anyway, so one thing I did say and that I didn't get off my notes, I just saw when she did reverse engineer that and she figured out the grain recipe, the mashes and everything, the yeast. Do you think she wrote the recipe down so it would not be lost forever again? Because it was lost for about 20 years.
It's right now. She's probably got a file in a filing cabinet that felt this thick.
And the other thing that I couldn't find, and guys, I like to take rabbit holes. One thing that I was
That's how the notes keep getting.
Well, it is, but one thing that I was really concentrating on is I couldn't figure out how old R.M. Grandpa Sutton was. He died in 1998, but he perfected the bourbon sweet mash recipe that his family made in 1916. So if he was born in 1900, that made him 98 years old when he passed, but only 16 years old when he perfected the recipe. So, and I don't know how old he was, and I couldn't find any information on when he was born or how old he was because he's not the main person in this story. The main person is the Myra Barganier. I guess that's her name.
I don't think that's how you said it the first time.
Barganier?
I don't know.
I don't either. I've pronounced it 3 or 4 different times in my head. Anyway, so Grandpa was pretty young man, I think, when he perfected the recipe. If he died in 1998, and that is confirmed, but his birth date was not. So that was something else I was going to throw in there. So now we know how the family's involved, how the tradition's involved. We know how the science is involved, and she got the grain recipes. And we know how an Alabama bourbon comes from Kentucky and is called a Kentucky bourbon. But Paul Sutton has been around for 13 years. I'm sorry, is available in 13 states. Okay, it's available in 13 states.
Didn't we just say that it hit the shelves in 21?
Yeah, it hit the shelves in 21. It's available in 13 states. The name Paul Sutton now. So Sutton, of course, is obvious. We talked about Grandpa Sutton, so we know that's her family name is Sutton. Where did Paul come from? Well, Paul is her co-creator, uh, co-founder, husband, and I think his name was Paul Amrich. So you get the name of her husband, first name of her husband, last name of her grandpa, and that's how that become a good thing. Uh,
Hope they don't get divorced.
she
That'd be a
might just
tough one.
she might just call it Sutton bourbon then.
I don't know. Then people think it's something different.
I don't know. I don't know. But you know how I was going to talk about how when recipes get passed down from generation to generation, and when they lost Grandpa Sutton's recipe in 1998, how she did probably think about that a lot because I know from Pappy, not Pappy Van Winkle, all you bourbon drinkers out there, but our Pappy,
Actual Pappy.
Ryan's great grandfather,
Great.
great grandfather was Pappy. He all at Christmas time he always made jerky, always made beef jerky for us. And we had the recipe, and it's still not the same, even if we try to recreate it. Right?
It's just weird.
It's weird. But anyway, so I can see where she would go, and when she did decide to create a bourbon company.
Peter said if they got divorced, instead of Paul Sutton, he would be then it's Sutton down to Nutton.
I like that one. We ought to create divorce name bourbons. What was the other bourbon where we took names and created?
I don't remember what it ended up being.
I don't either. But what was the show? Do you remember that?
Don't know that either.
Because there was other
All
shows.
these shows are running together for me.
Well, there was other shows that we talked about. Them Jurassic Park and a bourbon. Do you remember that show?
No.
I got it in my notes, and I'll talk about it here in a minute. But so anyway, because I thought you'd remember. Do you remember us even talking about them, going back and reverse engineering that? Do you remember that episode? Okay.
All these episodes run together.
Well, there's a lot more than I thought, and I'm gonna talk about that in a minute.
Some of us have had full-time jobs for the last 2.5 months and have other things to worry about.
It's been longer than 2.5 months.
Has it been longer than that? I don't remember when your surgery was.
It's 4 months.
Gosh.
I've been off 4 months.
There we go.
And I got to go back Monday.
Let the depression sink in.
I couldn't start a bourbon company in those 4 months. I tried. Believe me, I tried.
Gave it our best shot.
All right. Well, Myra Bargener, did I say it?
I think it was the same way as last time.
All right. Well, Myra Bargener, she's also recognized as the first woman to co-found, lead, and completely family-owned and operated bourbon company, which I thought that was good.
In the history books.
Yeah, that she was the first, but other women have followed in her footsteps. And this was some that you may not know the woman themselves, but Britt Colesvin. She's the co-founder of Willet. She revived Willet. Joyce Netherly. She's with Jephthah Creed. I think it's her and her mother, or her mother and her daughter. One of the. She's either the mother or the daughter.
Old Jephthah.
And then Mary Beth Tomaszewski. And I think that's pronounced right, even though that's really weird. I think it's Tomaszewski. If you all have ever heard of M.B. Rowland, she founded that, and she leads that bourbon company. And the Mary Beth is where the M.B. comes from.
M.B. That M.B. Rowland sounds like an author.
It
like
does.
To a book, like
I guess with the initials.
Maybe, I don't know. That sounds like a book author.
It does. Maybe she writes a book.
I doubt it.
Maybe she writes a book on bourbon. Now I was talking earlier about the Jurassic Park, right? So there's some. If you remember our Yellowstone episode, it talked about Stephen Beam, and I think it was another Beam. I think there was 2 Beams involved, but Stephen Beam was the main one.
It's been months and months and months.
You don't remember me talking about them breaking into the museum and robbing it, getting a bottle of bourbon?
I think I said something about the Museum of Natural History, so I don't know. Having a pour Paul Sutton sample, I won and it's pretty good, sweet for sure. Well, spoiler alert.
Who's that? Is that Neophyte?
Fight. Spoiler.
No,
He
it
gets
was
all
Peter.
kinds of head
It was Peter.
shakes.
It
And
was Peter.
Peter?
No, it was Peter.
Oh, it was
that said
Peter.
Oh,
Are you doing
it
the
was Peter.
Kentucky Straight Peter, or are you doing one of the family heritages? Just answer that question there. But anyway, no, Stephen Bean didn't have to break into a hotel.
Cool running. Appreciate you tuning into the stream, sir. Happy Friday.
Had cool runnings. The Beams did not break into museums.
See, I said, no, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Okay, that mistaken identity. I didn't see the name.
They didn't break into a museum and steal their great grandfather's minor case beans, over 150-year-old bottle. They did go to the museum though, and I guess they worked out an arrangement with the museum, and then they did a Jurassic Park on that 150-year-old bottle and got their recipe from that bottle for their Yellowstone when they opened Yellowstone up. So if you all think about that, Yellowstone is really created from a 150-year-old bottle of minor case beans bourbon.
I don't even remember what Yellowstone we did. I don't think it was a small
I
batch.
think we did the family select, or it was I don't know. But here's another interesting one that Jurassic Park did, and I haven't really researched this a lot, so I was surprised when I heard this.
Fake news.
No, this is Castle and Key. If y'all know the Castle and Key Distillery, they ended up purchasing the Old Taylor Distillery, which E.H. Taylor built. And at the when E.H. Taylor built that, his bourbon was the Old Taylor bourbon. Now,
Peter said he doesn't know exactly which one, just says Paul Sutton on it.
okay,
Seems about 100-ish proof.
okay, that's probably the bottled and bond one, the one we're going to be tasting today, Peter. So you're right on the same page with us today.
Hot diggity.
Hot diggity dog. So the Castle and Key Distillery, um, when they opened that, they got everything in the distillery. Right now, they couldn't use the Old Taylor name because Sazerac Company owns the Old Taylor name. But how they come across the pre-prohibition bottle of Old Taylor, I don't know. But they examined in Jurassic Park that pre-prohibition bottle of Old Taylor, and that is what the Castle and Key bourbon is made after. So that was the same recipe and everything that they made Castle and Key bourbon. So if you taste Castle and Key today, it should resemble something of the Old Taylor pre-prohibition. Anyway, Old Pogue. Old Pogue. The reason some of y'all may not know Old Pogue, it's a small distillery in Maysville, Kentucky, and I've been wanting to go there. And I guess that's why this one's hitting me right now. But H.E. Pogue, when he decided to revise his family brand, they used a 100-year-old bottle of their family heirloom bottle, and they got into it, reverse engineered it, so they could create the Old Pogue Masters Select, which I don't have any of.
Oh.
Yeah, the Old Pogue Masters Select. Then one of our favorites, Ryan, you'll be excited about this one. But Woodford Reserve, and it's kind of a funny story, but Woodford Reserve, they wanted to resurrect a recipe from 1818. Now, they had everything they needed. It was wrote down, clear as a bell, everything they needed, except they couldn't understand it. But it was written in English. Do you know why they couldn't understand it? It was the measurements. So in the recipe, the measurements said peck of rye. And they didn't know what a peck of rye meant.
Do we have translators for that nowadays? Like,
it said stick your hand in the mash up to your wrist. And that's their measurement. And I thought that was funny, and they evidently did too. So they had to do like some forensic style scientific research to translate those measurements into today's language to make a Woodford
surely
Reserve.
we have like interpreters for that, like not just the AI stuff, but like people that are just like that have studied the old ways of communication. They're just like, oh, peck. That's at least 4 tablespoons.
I'm sure they had that too, and they figured it out. And from 1818, so it just takes me, guys, every time. I mean, you sit there and you could drink a bourbon that was made yesterday, but most of these bourbons, there is so much history that goes back through all these bourbons. I mean, we just talked about 4 bourbons that go back 200 years. One went back 200 years, 150 years, 100 years, Prohibition to 39. They did those bourbons to recreate that same taste that they had back
All
then.
of them are intertwined in some way too.
And there's a lot of intertwining with the history names that are going on there and everything else. So that's what makes bourbon more intriguing to me. I like the stories behind it. I like the history behind it, and I like when they do that. Now, what we're drinking today started back in 1791. Now, we're not drinking the same stuff that they had in 1791 because Grandpa didn't perfect it until 1916. But this should resemble what he created back in 1916. The only difference I can think of is that this is aged in Kentucky, whereas Grandpa probably aged his in a basement barrel somewhere in his house.
Have you
Because
already opened that?
I opened this, we haven't poured from it. I see you struggle weekly with getting the tops off these things, so I just made it easy for you.
There looks like there's a little more out of this bottle than this one. Look at the sizes.
That wasn't me.
Who was it?
It was me.
There's been some poured out of here.
I just
Either that or we got skimped on about 3 milliliters.
maybe we got a bonus on this one. Maybe their fill machine was a little strong on that one, a little less strong on this one. But I've not popped the cork. I just pulled the plastic off.
That one's definitely low.
Just so you wouldn't struggle.
I wish y'all could see that. You can't tell me I'm crazy. Hold on. Can you see it if I move over? No.
Nope. All right, guys.
So what's the proof on this?
This is a bottled and bond 100 proof.
He said angles. Hold on. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I don't know if the camera's good.
They do release some. They release this bottled and bond. This one, they also release the limited release heritage collection. The one I got is a couple years old. It's 7 years old, but I know they've released an 8 and a 9-year-old. This is a green limited release leather band, guys. And I'll talk about the bottle since I'm holding it. This bottle here, if you all look at it, they wanted the thick bottom there. They said that represents like a highball glass, but the bottle itself is shaped like a flask. So they wanted that. And then since there's 7 generations on the back here, you all won't be able to see them, but raised on the back, there are 7 lines that's raised up on the back, and that's for the 7 generations. And then, of course, on the side it says family reserve. So, can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can see that. So there's a lot of thought that goes behind some of these bourbon bottles. Y'all think, oh man, it's just a bottle. Well, some of these companies put a lot of thought behind their bourbon bottles, and I like when they do that too. So that makes it a little bit more intriguing for me. But
I don't think you could have grabbed on that bottle in any more angles than what you did.
Right.
yeah. So anyway, let's pour some. Let's pour some, and let's get
I
the
don't
tasting
measure.
this. All right. You pop the cork though, right?
When I
think
can.
I think you can pop it and measure. You can pop and pour.
Y'all missed out on that one, guys. That
It was a good
one.
pop. It was a good pop.
I like
And
the
the pork is actually weighted a little bit. It's like metal. I think it's a little bit of metal.
Yeah, I know. I pulled it earlier. No, I'm just kidding.
I like the leather. That
Like the leather. So
Yeah.
the leather, the only other place that I've seen does that is Four Roses on some of their private select single barrels. One of these is a single barrel. Was it this one or was it another one? Can you read this one as a single barrel or that one? This is bottled in bond, guys. This says single barrel right here.
This one's not.
So this is a single barrel bottled in bond. So we know it's at least 4 years old, but I think this is a 6-year-old bourbon.
Ryan read Angels
Yeah.
shares, and that's what, and he said, I meant Angel share.
Angels.
So that's why some of it was missing.
Angel share.
No.
The angel share out of the bottle. I
The
guess.
thing spelled correct.
All right.
It's, I was about to say angle share. Well, I thought you was trying to see the.
Right, you forgot our producer.
You didn't even have a glass out.
You didn't have
I forgot to put the glass out.
Look,
We had a week off.
You better pour than you are. You see how there's no excess that drained down the bottle from where you set it on the.
Did you lick the bottle when you was done?
No.
Usually that's what I do.
Angel. Yeah.
Just kidding.
All of our bottles.
Just kidding. Just kidding, everybody. Just kidding. All you guys that's been over
Heck,
for
I say-
tasting, that's just a joke.
I say we just stop using the Glencairns and just take swings,
Drink it right from the
swings
bottle?
out of her. Yeah, it tastes a little bit.
Pass it around the campground.
I've done it on a few nights.
It does smell.
It smells sweet. It's got a real sweet smell.
Yeah. No, it's a good smell.
Way to nose it. Way to nose it, right?
Thank goodness these are big glasses because my nose is kind of big. I got to be able to get that in here.
Bourbon neophyte, you're a Scotch drinker. Do you all nose the Scotch the same way you do bourbon, or is it different?
Wait, we've been tasting all wrong. We've been forgetting to throw out the first sip.
Should you throw out that first sip, I'm gonna be mad.
Here, producer, catch.
So, and the reason I'd be mad is I know this is contract distilled. That's probably a little bit more expensive than sourcing. I don't know for a fact, but this here is a bottled and bond. They don't specify an age. It does say single barrel on it, and it was like 65 or around $65. The family heritage ones that they have, those things are around 90 to $100.
So that's the one that we need to throw out the first sip of.
No. So it's pretty expensive for one of those that's not a distillery owned brand. You know what I mean? I think.
There's a little bit of grass, like grass clippings, like freshly cut grass. Let me know
You
how
get
y'all feel.
grass and hay sometimes, and I've never got grass or hay. But you do. I've seen that. You've noticed that before.
Like I don't know how y'all feel about like freshly cut lawns and the smell that it like sends through the air. I've always been a fan of that.
I smell fruit.
There is a little fruit.
I get a fruity smell, a candy sweetness and fruity smell.
But it's not strong. It's almost like you're smelling the outside of the fruit.
It's very light with the smell.
It's a good smell.
There's a little bit of pastriness in there.
I'm gonna agree with our producer. She just said it's a good smell. I think it's a good smell, but I'm having a hard time identifying things. I smell sweet, okay. I smell fruit, but I can't like identify fruit that it is. I can't identify sweetness that it is.
Scotch is different than bourbon. Most scotches I drink are single malt. You get more fruit and vanilla along with honey notes.
And you nose it the same way then? You kind of just waft it around in your nose and not like Ryan's doing right now.
Kind of get in there.
Every now and then I pick up like a glazed donut smell.
I said pastry.
So he's getting pastry, he's getting glazed donut.
Yeah.
He said exactly the same.
Okay.
Go in for sip one. I mean,
it doesn't need any.
There's a little bit of hazelnut in there too.
So this is a bottled in bond, and for us experienced bourbon drinkers, you're not going to need a lot of acclimation with it. But we still take our sips and try to give it a fair shake.
First impression, that tastes weak.
You think it tastes weak?
That tastes real weak.
It is 100 proof.
It has good tears, good thick tears.
You know, I know we're not doing the tasting of, but you know what that reminds me of? Yeah. That 50-year-old makers that we tried.
Oh, really?
Not the 50-year aged. It was made 50 years ago.
For those of you who didn't watch that. It was a bottle made in 1996.
30 years, sorry.
It was bottled in 1996, but it was just regular makers. One of those.
It's actually behind you.
One of those sports bottles. We did. I wanted to compare the difference in those old bottles and the new ones.
It's over there on the far
right.
right.
See it?
Yeah, it's over there on the far right.
And there's a big difference.
Oh yeah.
In that 30 years of Maker's Mark, there's a big difference in taste.
I mean, I think that Maker's tasted like tequila.
It had a bold. It had bold flavors.
I've never experienced that like in a bourbon. I know maybe it was bad. I don't know, but we drank the whole thing. And we're still alive, so
matches the smell to me though.
I'm not. Are you on 2?
I'm 3.
Whoa!
Yeah. So our producer did say that her taste matched her smell. Did you pick anything out of it, like particular, like any, like when I did smell, I said sweet. Did you get your pastry donut?
Kinda, yeah.
Oh my gosh!
What is it?
I didn't know that it did that. I changed the screens and all the chats just popped up all at once.
Oh wow!
Maybe that's better. I don't know.
I've never seen that.
Wow, so what I got out of this, my taste out of this, guys. Like I said, I couldn't really get specifics.
I did get a pastry, like a Danish.
You get like kind of a Danish.
Yes, with the.
I need to take a walk. I'm struggling.
What's going on?
You're getting aggravated.
Is our thing been going okay?
I haven't had any Yeah, y'all let us know. I haven't had any notifications saying that.
So with me, I had a sweetness that I couldn't really determine. I had a fruitiness I really couldn't determine in my nose. When I drank it, the sweetness that I determined is licorice. It's kind of a fake cherry kind of licorice flavor. It's what I'm getting. And then I kind of get a little, I kind of get a little bit of yellow cake in there. So it's yellow cake, but then some kind of like cherry flavored licorice. Uh, it's not as bad as I'm describing it as because it kind of flows and meshes. But if I had the taste, if that's what I had to pick out, that would be the two that I taste the most. But other than that, it's just kind of a sweet, a sweetie taste. But I don't get any fruit in there.
I get fruitiness, but I don't know which one because it tastes like Mike and Ike's.
So
Like
Mike and Ike's candy.
those little.
That's a description right there, Mike and Ike's candy. I mean, so that's
Has anyone ever had Mike and Ike?
Well,
probably
see, I
have
was-
years ago.
I would have went more towards candy corn.
I think I'm gonna put some.
I don't know.
You would have went towards candy corn.
Candy corn's such a unique flavor, and I'm not getting something that specific.
All right, I got a little water in mine. Let's see if it changes things.
Does anyone know what candy corn is supposed to resemble, or if it's literally just candy
Sugar.
corn? Like,
Just
is that
sugar.
just its own flavor?
Just for
I think candy corn, if you turn it over and look at the bottom, it looks like a kernel of corn. But why the triangle and the different colors, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just talking about the taste. Like, is it supposed to resemble the taste of something else, or is candy corn its own thing altogether?
I think it's just pure sugar.
It's just sugar.
If you do the ones that have the brown on it, I think it's supposed to resemble some kind of chocolatey goodness.
I do like those.
But if you do the ones with the yellow, it's just sugar.
Yeah.
good,
The water actually spices it up a little bit.
give me some of that.
So I get the try your water there. I put 4 in mine. It kind of spiced it up. It took away my licoricey taste. It kept that cakiness in there. I guess maybe some yeastiness in there, some breadness. It kept that in there, but then it spiced it up with some baking spices and stuff like that, and actually finished with a light spice. So it's not a. This isn't a knock your socks off me bourbon.
No, it's not.
I didn't think. It's not a bad bourbon.
No.
It's not one that I would say never try. It's just
I was talking about the potency of it.
mm,
Knock your socks off.
That
I don't mind the taste of it
it
at
would be
all.
one that after dinner, it's more desserty.
This is definitely a campfire sipper
Yeah.
I agree.
rather than like with a meal or something.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't drink it with the meal. After a meal,
Yeah.
sitting down drinking
I
it.
think it's too sweet.
But as far as like your buddies coming over and you're wanting to show them like you gotta try this. This isn't one that I'm gonna run and get and say, hey, you gotta try this. But it's a good bourbon. It's a good overall bourbon.
Boy, that changes it a lot.
The water
That
did change it.
It changes it a lot.
The water changed it a lot. All right. I don't know if I gave you much today, Brian. You want to
Now
describe it?
took my last sip.
Okay. Well, I'll go in and describe what I think. I'm gonna go ahead and give it my rating while you're sitting there thinking. Okay. So without water, and most of them I'll drink neat, so I probably shouldn't even talk about the water. But without the water, it had that sweetness, maybe yellow cakey taste, but that artificial cherry licorice kind of killed it back for me. Once I put the water in there, it lost that licoricey taste, that artificial cherry taste. Still got the yellow cake, but it spiced it up. So it's almost like you put yellow cake in there and you added some baking spices and made it kind of a chili kind of cake. Like maybe you put some
yellow cake with a little paprika cream on
you
it.
spiced that cake up a little bit, and I liked it more with the water, so I did enjoy that. Um, as far as it goes, though, it's a $65 bourbon. There's a little bit of history to it, but the bottle's kind of cool. Um, but all in all, it's just a good bourbon. It's like I said, it's not one of those that I'm bragging about to my friends. It's easy to find around here in our area, so it ain't one that you got to hunt for and go after. And to me, with all of those things being put together, I'm gonna rank it 6.6 on the Richter. All right.
We're judging earthquakes now.
Well, I was just saying. I don't know why I said that.
Brace yourself.
6.6. I got a 6.6.
Okay. Water definitely changes it a lot. And I drink my bourbon on the rocks or neat, just whichever one I prefer for that particular one, or just however I'm feeling for the night. But it is very sweet. I'm getting pastriness. There's not a whole lot of spice to it, but I don't really get spice notes.
With water, did it spice it up for you?
Barely though. It
It
wasn't
added
even
a
really
little bit.
spicy. It almost made it feel like it proofed it up.
Yeah,
I wouldn't necessarily say it was spicier.
I would say it proofed it up as well, even though we proofed it down.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's no scientific way that it could be proofed up,
Yeah.
but it seemed that way anyway. But it's very sweet. You get hints of a little bit of hazelnut. You get hints of obviously the pastry that we've talked about. I guess slight spice notes, but not anything crazy. Um, I was trying to think of this one other flavor that I mean, you get Mike and Ike's, I guess, for your fruit, if you can even consider those
Yeah.
fruit.
If you can consider that candy box a fruit,
A fruit, then there you go. That's what you got.
some artificial fruit.
Yeah, artificial fruity flavors. And I doubt that there's anything artificial added to this. So they can put that on the bottle.
There's never anything artificial added to bourbon. You can add artificial stuff to whiskey, but not bourbon.
Anywho,
Well, just you threw it out there, and then I had to correct it. So I'm sorry.
anywho.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, old stickler over here.
Well, you can't add nothing to bourbon.
We didn't make this.
You can't add anything. It can't be called a bourbon if it had something added to it. Go ahead.
The whatever. I do like the bottle. I like their little. It's a nice little subtle additive, but I do like the little leather straps to the color coded straps to tell you what you're drinking. Um, it's very smooth. Well, do we know the proof of this one?
100 proof, bottled in bond.
So for 100 proof, it drinks like an 80. I mean, it's
Yeah.
It is
it's
light.
very light. But very easy on your palate. I'd say that it's beginner friendly if you're wanting to spend $65 on a bottle. Uh, if you're not, then there's other ones out there that you can try that drink just as easy, but you're just not getting proof. But as far as 100 proof goes, I think this is a very easy drinker, even for someone that's not acclimated. I don't necessarily like the color of it. That kind of goes along with the light drink. You can tell that it's going to be kind of light based on the color of it alone.
And from what I did, of course, there's no age statement, but it is at least 4 years old because it's bottled in bond. But from what I was reading, most of their bourbons are at least 6 years old, even the bottled in bonds.
That's really light for a 6-year-old.
It does look light to me, but I don't know the char level of their barrels, so it could have a light char barrel.
Well, I got the oakiness was there, but it wasn't.
I didn't really even get a lot of oakiness.
I get it in everything. Like that just goes without saying, but it was not there as much as others go. All that being said, though, I didn't mind it. Like I said, this would be a nice little campfire drinker, and that would even add to the oakiness, I'm
I think
sure.
so. Maybe the smoke.
A little bit of smoke in
Yeah.
there, yeah, you'd be fine. It might even make it a little bit better, but I would, I'd probably buy this bar. I'd give it probably like a 7-1.
7166. You got a rating for?
I was thinking 7.
You was thinking of 7, so 66771. Do we have any extra comments over there?
Not
He said sacrilege.
sacrilege bourbon with ice. I mean, it is what it is sometimes. It's all personal preference.
That's right. Drink it the way you want to drink it. We don't care. We don't care how you drink it.
We
Well,
listen and we do not judge.
Just enjoy it when you're
Just
drinking.
enjoy it. Join us on Fridays. Talk to us. We'll be your drinking buddy. There ain't no sense. Ain't no sense in being by yourself drinking.
Is that right?
Yeah, I wasn't going to say our line at the end, so I didn't want to ruin our ending line.
Gosh, now we got to repeat.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
Exactly. Drink your whiskey however you want. Everything's
That's it.
different.
That's it.
Absolutely. Cheers.
But there you go, guys. 6-6, 7, and a 7-1.
It's enjoyable, but I mean the bourbons that I've been drinking lately,
You've
course,
been spoiled.
we had 4 really good bourbons last week, and I've been, hitting a drink here and there on them all week long. So this one was kind of a downgrade from those, and that may affect it in my opinion.
I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah,
completely different caliber.
yeah, definitely. And this is still a lower price range than all those too. This is $65. So $65, but I mean there are some really good $65 bottles out there too. So
We're not comparing.
anyway, yeah, not today. Not today.
I can't with him. I literally can't.
That's what this show's all about.
It's not. It's about drinking what's in front of you and not
It's about, for me, this bourbon journey was to try every Kentucky bourbon that is made. And once I try them, to identify the value for the buck, the taste for the buck. If I can find a $60 bourbon that I like as well as a $150 bourbon, then I'll just continue to drink the $60
Well, you
bourbon.
can drink your bourbon however you want. I'm gonna go on my bourbon
And
journey how I want.
I can purchase my bourbon the way I want and everything. So
I'm gonna go on my bourbon journey the way I want. So I'm no longer forced to compare anything.
we're still going to have some tastings.
Okay. Anyway, before we get any more off track with that, because that's fighting a losing battle for me, folks.
It is.
It's never ending. Hopefully y'all did go on to enjoy. If you got anything else for him?
I don't. This was good. This was good. Uh-oh.
Nice.
Spam's calling.
Thank you all so much for tuning in, though, sharing a drink with us here on this Friday. It's going to be a beautiful weekend here in Kentucky, from what I can tell. So hopefully everyone else is experiencing the same nice weather. Hopefully it's here to stick around for the year. Stay tuned. I guess we got a special episode coming up next week. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it's going to be a good one, so definitely don't miss out on that. You probably didn't even hear what you did. You just looked silly going.
Yeah.
Anyway, special one coming up next weekend. Stay tuned for any videos that old Pops decides to post
Yeah, I
on the
haven't done
channel.
any this week, and I won't be able to do them in the daytimes anymore, so it'll have to be like a nighttime video.
It'll be something.
I'm going back to work.
Make sure to spread the channel name around to all your friends. Subscribe if you're new. Make sure to drop the likes. All that being said, guys, we'll see y'all next Friday on My Drink Alone.
When you can drink with us.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, how about a hug today? All right. Well, I'm going to settle for another warm Kentucky hug. Cheers.